Oh my goodness, look at this. This is a Triumph Scrambler 1200. Wow, wow, wow. Catch you inside.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. Hope you're enjoying the channel and the series of videos. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Check out the website RevelatorAlf.com. So, they've let me on a Triumph Scrambler 1200. This is the XC variant. It's got a few extras on here from standard. It's got the back plate there, the rack. It's got LED lights, and it's got the little grille here on the headlight. But apart from that, it's all standard OZ. Look at that. Let's get into the specs. So it's got a 1200cc engine, parallel twin. It's got a 270-degree angle on the crank, 8 valves. It's a bit of a beast. It's 89 brake horsepower and 110 newton meters. Electronic fuel ignition, and it's got a chain drive too. 6-speed, and it goes like the clappers. It's got a tubular steel frame with an aluminium cradle, aluminium swing arm as well. Spoked wheels front and rear, tubeless wheels front and rear. 21-inch front, 17-inch rear, and you really do notice it on the steering with that 21-inch. Front fork suspension, upside down forks with 200mm of travel. It's got twin shock Öhlins suspension for the rear, and that's also got 200mm of travel. Brakes, it's a twin disc at the front, 320mm 4-piston caliper. And the rear, it's got a single disc, 255mm with a 2-piston caliper. Brembo brakes and all that kind of good stuff. Switchable ABS, switchable traction control. You can pretty much downgrade it just at a flick of a button. It's got rider modes. It's got rain, road, sport, off-road mode where you can switch everything off. So the basic width of this bike, as you look at it from the front, is 840mm. The height is 1200mm. Seat height, again, is 840mm. You are kind of sat prone on it. Wheelbase is 1530mm. Dry weight is 205 kilos. You don't really feel that weight, I've got to say. But, you know, add another 20 kilos, let's say, for all the oils and all the other sort of stuff that you might add to it. And apparently it'll do 58 miles to the gallon. The tank is 16 litres as well. So relatively on the small side. But look, this is a fun bike. This is just to go and have fun on. And yeah, you can use it as a commuter bike. You can use it in the off-road world, put some knobblies on it. This bike they use in the Triumph Off-Road Centre in the UK, and it just rips it up, along with the 900 as well. They got the 1200 there, the more adventure bike as well, but the 900, the Tiger 900, and also this Scrambler 1200 just rip it up apparently. So, let's get it on the road. Right, let's start this up. Can you feel it? Can you feel it roar? Right, let's get this on the road, shall we? Oh, lovely little pickup. Beautiful gear changing, silky smooth. Really nice upright riding position as well. Lovely. You can feel that the suspension is just a little bit stiffer on the front. And yeah, it's got lovely balance. And it just switches left and right here. Just pushing on the bars and it just switches left and right. Really, really nice. It's got great pickup as well. Just go through into the national speed limits here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, straight up to 60. Very, very quickly. No, look, this is a bike to have fun on. Make no mistake about it. This is a bike to have fun on. As I say, on the off-road centre, they rip it apart. You know, you can. I mean, I could take it on a trail here, and it will be, you know, it will be fine. You are sat up high, you are sat up a little bit, you know, top heavy as it were, but the bike doesn't feel top heavy. The bike doesn't feel, you know, out of place on the road or off the road, in traffic or out of traffic. Kind of go in the bends. It seems to have nice sort of balance in the bends. Yeah, it kind of rolls in there and it sticks. There's no over rotation either. Really nice. It's a lovely pickup. Really nice and smooth. You're upright. Your crotch is kind of leant in towards the tank a little bit. I mean, you can sit it back. It's got this lovely Scrambler seat on it, so you can go all the way back. It's nice. It's a really nice bike to ride, I've got to say. Now, functionality. How functional is this going to be? Well, I don't think you're going to buy this bike to be Mr. Functional. You can ride any bike in any manner, of course you can. You can go on the long tours, you can go for weekends away, all that kind of stuff. Everything is doable. But is this really suited to, one, normal daily riding, and two, is it really suited to any kind of serious off-road? Well, when you talk about serious off-road, what are we talking about? This bike will go anywhere, it will do anything, but it is quite a tall bike as well, and especially if you're a little bit of a shorter rider, you may struggle with it. It's a lot lighter than the big adventure bikes, so in terms of that, it's going to be a much better option for, you know, doing trails and green laning and all that kind of good stuff. But I tell you what it is, more than anything, it feels quite assured. Whilst it's got a 1200cc engine, you don't feel as if you're on a 1200cc. It's very smooth, the power is there, but it isn't grossly delivered. It just brings it to you. You pop it. Oh, lovely. Now I'm just in road mode right now, but I could put it into sport mode, and obviously that would open up a little bit. You put it in rain mode and that will close everything down, of course. It's nice. Lovely handlebar position, and you feel as if they've got the stance just right. They've got the ethos of the Scrambler just right on this bike. Now what I would question is, for a Scrambler, is this too heavy? Is this too big and too heavy for a Scrambler? My idea of a Scrambler is a lot smaller bike, a lot lighter bike, and you know, a lot closer to the ground. And possibly this is just on the big side for that name, that term. But is it capable? Yes, indeed. Lovely and light. This bike gives you what those big adventure bikes cannot give you, but you got a similar kind of power delivery. This will give you all the fun without all the headache. I had a Triumph Explorer before, love that bike, but when you go into serious off-road, as I said, that's when you struggle. This, I don't think you'd struggle so much, especially you've got to put knobbly tyres on it. You've got to put some Anarchy Wild tyres on this. And say the tubeless sails, spoke wheels, great. And you always see, you know, videos of these being ridden by, you know, test riders and, you know, great conditions, all that kind of stuff. Yes, but most people don't get in that, and most people aren't to that standard as well. So you got to think, what would the average rider be able to do with this? Well, you'll be able to do some green laning. It's got, you know, enough engine protection there for you to do that. But really, again, similar to the adventure bikes, you want a trail. As long as the trail is hard, compacted, and relatively dry, if you've got normal tyres, or if you're a little bit wet, you want some knobbly tyres. But apart from that, that's what you want. When you start getting into sort of rutted stuff, really rocky stuff, yeah, it's going to be high, too tall, and it's going to be, even so, it's going to be on the heavy side as well. That also depends on your physical stature as well. But this, yes, on the back roads, open it up, and it is just awesome. Lean it in a little bit. Oh yeah, brakes, lovely and progressive. Not a lot of diving, which I could accuse the previous Triumphs of doing, but not so much diving on this. Nice. Even though you open it up, the nose doesn't, the front wheel doesn't really want to pop up. You can put your weight forward and it's there, it stays where it's supposed to. Nice, very nice. I came into this ride because I'm looking for a lighter adventure bike, and I thought I'd try this 1200. I came into it with a lot of bias, I will tell you that. A lot of bias, thinking too heavy, too big, too cumbersome, not good off-road, you know, yada yada yada. Alf doesn't like this bike. Well, I am prepared to eat humble pie, ladies and gentlemen. Prepare to eat humble pie, because this is a really good bike for that kind of thing. Now, if you're going to use this as a daily commuter, perfect, because it's not too wide. You don't feel as if you're riding a big bike. It's got that Scrambler essence. It's quite a narrow profile, narrow tank. So from that point of view, great. In and out of traffic, nice. You're still, because you're sat up high, you're going to have good visibility as well over, you know, over all the traffic. So I mean, that all looks good. And on these back roads, this is going to be so much fun. You're going to have so much fun with this. So as a daily rider, daily commuter, short distances, great. Take it off-road by all means and have loads of fun with it, as long as it's not too challenging. But as soon as you get into rutted stuff, let's face it, you're going to have to decide whether you'll be prepared to drop this bike or not. And that's the key thing. Always remember that. You take one of these bikes off-road, the chances are you're going to drop it. Because that's what happens when you go off-road, ladies and gentlemen. You drop your bike. And it's whether you can protect the bike enough, whether you have enough confidence to take this bike off-road. And I would say, whilst it's a lot lighter, it's a much better option. It's also going to be a bike that you're going to have to be prepared to pick up as well. But interestingly, it doesn't feel that heavy. It doesn't feel that heavy at all. Oh yeah, yes, straight up to, oh, it picks up so easily, so easily. These gears are really nicely spaced out as well. Now, if you're going to use this off-roading as well, especially if it's a bit more challenging, when I talk about slippery conditions, bit rutted conditions, let's say, you're still going to find that the first and second gear are going to be a little bit long, just like a lot of the adventure bikes. Not so long, not as long, but they are a little bit long. This dash is really nice and small, nice and compact. Triumph have done a good job here, and you can actually swip through all the different pages here. You can change the setup and everything. Looks really good. It's got cruise control on here. Very simple cruise control. It's basically an on-off switch. You just ride at whatever speed you want and just press the button over here, and that's it. And it just does it. Really good. Switch gear is very simple. I like it. Very, very simple. You look down on the bike and it looks really nice. Nice tone from the exhaust as well. Oh yes. I've got to say, I am feeling the heat from the exhaust on my right leg a little bit. Once you've got your right foot down on the floor, you do feel the heat from it. Just keep your foot on the peg. That's all I'd say. Once you're riding it, you don't feel it, but as soon as you put your foot down, you do feel it. So, what can we say? Look, this bike, it's got off-road pedigree, there's no doubt. But my opinion is, any big bike, you're always going to be limited. The taller the bike, the more top-heavy it's going to be. Whilst this bike, you don't feel it, as soon as you get into really difficult stuff, you will feel it. But most people aren't going to really stress this bike. Everything that's capable, you just got to ride it in a certain way. Big adventure bikes, they can do so many things off-road, but you just got to approach it in a different way. And this would be exactly the same. You'll just have a little bit more latitude with this than a big adventure bike. But this is a really good bike for those of you who are looking for a fun bike, an all-round bike, and something that's got really lots of street cred, as it were. It looks cool, it looks like a Scrambler, it rides like a Scrambler. It's just an oversized Scrambler, as it were. That's what I would say, but it's really cool. Would I buy this bike? This is the kind of thing that I'm looking at. Unfortunately, this goes a little bit in between. If I was looking for one bike alone, the short commute, a bit of fun at the weekends, whatever, I don't really want a lot of practicality from my bike, then this would be it. This would be it. But if you're kind of demanding a little bit more, if you want more of a long distance haul, you want a long distance tourer ride, you want more of an off-road capability, then this sits in the middle ground where it's kind of master of none. It's great, and it's a master of its own little niche, as it were, but it doesn't really fulfill what I want it to do from this kind of size bike. It's a lot better, a lot easier to ride than the big adventure bikes, but it's not exactly what I'm looking for. But it's still a great bike. If your style of riding fits into that niche which I was talking about, that small narrow band, this is going to be the bike for you, and you're going to have lots and lots of fun. And I tell you what, you're going to be smiling every time you ride it. And essentially, when you're riding bikes and it puts a smile in your face, well, that's half the battle, isn't it? Isn't that half the battle? Well, this has been a real treat to ride this bike. I've wanted to ride it for a long time. As I said, I would definitely have this in my stable of bikes. If I was looking for one particular bike that has a wide profile, then I don't think this is the bike. It has quite a narrow profile, usability profile, let's say, but it's brilliant at that, and that's what I would say. So great buy. I could definitely see myself on this having lots of fun, so probably that's the best endorsement that you can have. Anyway, lots more videos coming at the end of this one. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Check out the website RevelatorAlf.com, and I'll catch you again on another video coming very soon. Ta-da now.